Shooters and Reloaders, Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to the hot lead zone. And this video is for New Zealander Dan 1. And he wants another story of a gun video. Well, this is a story of a gun, model 29 Smith & Wesson. It's the 29-2, 8 3/8 inch barrel, purchased in 1972, has the pin barrel, recessed cylinder. Give you a look at that. And it was in that time frame when Dirty Harry was popular, but I couldn't get the 6.5 inch because they were just not available. Well, we could all thank Clint Eastwood for that. Dirty Harry Callahan of the San Francisco Police Department. Do you feel lucky, punk? Well, do ya? You know, that's not easy to do because sneering and talking at the same time is hard. Well, it turns out that I had gotten to be good friends with this salesman at the gun store. His name was Ben. Good old Ben. And I walked in because I went there often, and there in the display case was this model 29-2, 8 3/8 inch barrel. So it wasn't a 6.5, but it was right there in the display case. And Ben says, just came in. And I said to Ben, I'll take it. I didn't even have to look at it. I just said, I'll take it. Well, when I picked this gun up at the gun store, and first thing I did was take it over to Dwayne's house because I wanted to show him. He was one of my shooting buddies along with Doug that was there that day. And the two of them wanted to see my Model 29 real bad because they hadn't seen too many of them either. So anyway, I brought it over to Dwayne's house. First thing that happened was Dwayne grabbed it, checked it, make sure it wasn't loaded, and then they started going after each other because it was like Doug was a bad guy and Dwayne was Dirty Harry Callahan. What happened was Doug took off through the front door and ran outside into the street, and Dwayne took off after him and was pretending he was chasing him, and they were going around the cars and this kind of thing. Well, can you imagine today if anybody did that? They'd be calling out the SWAT teams. But in those days, you could do that in the street. Wasn't any problem, really. Well, I shot it a fair amount, and then because it's got the long barrel and there was a lot of popularity in long range shooting in those days, plus the squirrel hunting that I had been doing with some friends, and so this was going to be a good squirrel gun, right? So I took this gun to a gunsmith and had the scope mount installed on top. And then I said I couldn't bear to put all the rounds through this gun that I wanted to, so we were going to go ahead and do squirrel hunting with it. So the red dot sight got put on there, and I wasn't going to shoot this gun as much as I did my Super Blackhawk, which could be shot just almost indefinitely and not wear it out. But I didn't want to wear out this Model 29. They were just too desirable back in those days. It turns out that this Model 29-2 with that red dot sight on top actually was a pretty good long-range rig, because with my reloads in 240 grain Sierra jacketed hollow cavity bullets and 22 grains of 2400 powder, I could hit the little gong out at 250 yards, that Livermore range, without any trouble at all, 5 times out of 6. We didn't know that a certain shooter back in Tennessee by the name of Hickok 45 was also shooting an 8 3/8 inch 44 Magnum on his gong. But difference was his gong was in his private range. Very nice. Well, it's about time now to change out that red dot sight. We're going to put on a BSA 2 to 7 power pistol scope and use the Weaver high rings. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm not going to show you that on video because you just use a screwdriver, right? Let's go ahead and do that. Now, these Weaver all steel scope rings may not be as high tech or this kind of thing. They're not a brand new design, but they work every bit as good today as they ever did. Reliable, they'll hold. What more can you ask? Plus, they don't look bad, especially when we take our time and we don't damage the screws. Now, shooters, it's interesting that this gun has chamber throats that are 4.31 inch. So you see, 4.29 bullets just slip right through. I could never shoot .429 size bullets or even .430 size bullets through this gun without leading the barrel. So I never did. You need bullets that are .432 or .433. So you see these .433 round nose bullets that actually weigh 264 grains are perfect for this revolver. Now I haven't shot any powder coated bullets through there, but you see these won't drop through because they are the right size. You want them to not drop through. This is ideal. And so there's the view through the scope. New Zealander Dan, take care. See you next video.